This is Andrea coming to you once again from Reach Souls Films Incorporated. I have another Bible study video that I wanted to share with everyone this evening, and the name of it is called "You Have to Accept All the Sides of Jesus." Um, these so-called phony, watered-down Christians only want to accept the loving side of God. And they'll say, God is love, God is forgiving, but at the same time, we also need to remember that God gets angry, and He is very angry at these phony, watered down Christians. I'm just here to show everyone that us as followers, disciples of Jesus, that we have to accept all of the sides of Jesus, and not just one side of Him, not just the loving side, because He also gets angry too. And I have some scriptures to prove that Jesus, that He does get very angry, and He doesn't play around with us. When we sin and mess up in point blank, we have to accept all the sides of Jesus. We have to. And where I'm going to start out at this evening is at Genesis. And I'm going to be reading from the New International Version. And I will continue to say it over and over again. Please read and study these scriptures for yourself. And that's where I'm going to start out at. And I will read this verse for you also. And I'm reading from the New International Version. And it's Genesis, the 19th chapter, and verse 24. And it says right here, Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. God's in this particular verse, God's patience had run out on Sodom and Gomorrah. In the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, we see two facets of God's character, His great patience. Because God, He has a lot of patience, agreeing to spare a wicked city for 10 good people, and His fierce anger destroying both cities. And I'm gonna just say it like this: we better grow spiritually in Jesus and develop a deep respect for Him, because His anger towards sin is about to run out. And Jesus is not playing around. He is not playing around. So you better get your life together. You better get Him into your life before it is too late. And start taking your walk with Him extremely serious before it is too late. In the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, they had to learn that the hard way, because the people in those two cities, they refused to do right. They wouldn't do right for nothing in the world. But the next verses I'm going to be reading from is Numbers, the 22nd chapter, verses 20 through 23. And I'll read those verses for you as well. And it's right here. I'm starting at verse 20. That night God came to Balaam and said, since these men have come to summon you, go with them, but do only what I tell you. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went the princes of Moab. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with the drawn sword in his hand, she turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat her to get her back on the road. And in these particular verses right here, God was angry with Balaam's greedy attitude. And we have a lot of greedy, phony, watered down Christians in this day and time, and I most definitely see it. They don't care anything about Jesus, because for so many years we have been lied to by these so-called preachers of God, and especially the ministers on television. Yes, I said it, and I said it, and I say it again. We've been lied to for so many years by these ministers on television. Oh yes. And these televangelists who are money hungry, all they want is money, and that's all they care about. That's all they care about. They don't care nothing about saving souls from a burning hell. They don't care anything about that. Money, money, money. And it's just sad. They're money hungry. Jesus is angry, and he's had enough. He's had enough. He's had enough of these money hungry, phony, watered down Christians and these false prophets, televangelists who have lied to us for years. They have lied to us for so many years. But they don't care. All they care about is the money. And they say that it's okay to get money, money, money. Prosperity preachers. Jesus is angry at you phony preachers. But in this particular Balaam claimed that he will not go against God just for money. And that's what a lot of these preachers in this day and time, they have gone against God for money. A lot of these preachers and these televangelists, these preachers on television, all of them have gone against God for money. And Jesus is angry, and he's had enough. But his resolve was beginning to slip. His greed for the wealth offered by the king, blinded by the desire for money, possessions, or prestige. And we definitely have to watch out for that if we call ourselves followers and disciples of Jesus. We definitely have to watch out for that. Because Jesus, he doesn't want nobody ahead of him. No one. And but these so-called phony, watered down Christians, They only want to accept just one side of Jesus. God is love. God is forgiving. God forgives all sin. We have to, all of us, all of us who call ourselves true followers, true disciples of Jesus, we have to accept all of the sides of Jesus and not only just one side. But the next verses I'm gonna be reading from is Psalm 74 verses 1 and 2. But and again, I'm gonna be reading from the New International Version. Please read these scriptures for yourself. Read and study these scriptures for yourself. Please do. And I'm going to start at verse 1 right here. And it says right here, "Why have you rejected us forever, O God? Why does your anger smolder against the sheep of your pasture? Remember the people you purchased of old, the tribe of your inheritance, whom you redeemed, Mount Zion, where you dwelt." Okay. God's anger against Israel had grown hot during the many years of their sin and adultery. His patience endured for generations, but at last was set aside for judgment. And when you sin, quickly seek God's forgiveness and mean it from your heart. But if you persist against him, if you persist against him, his patience will run out. His patience. Jesus' patience is running out. Get yourselves together before it is too late. These phony, watered down Christians, they don't want to accept this side of Jesus, the side that gets angry and loses his patience. No, these phony, watered down Christians, no, they don't want to accept that side of Jesus. They only want to accept the loving side of Jesus. And if we call ourselves true followers, true disciples of Jesus, honey, we have to accept all the sides of Jesus and not only just one side. And these phony, his patience runs out. That they only want to accept, and these phony, watered down Christians, they only want to accept that God is love, God forgives all the time, which is a lie, straight from hell, which is a lie straight from the pit of hell. You have to accept all the sides of Jesus, and not only just one side either. But the next verse I'm going to be reading from is Matthew chapter 21 and verse 12, and I'll read that verse for you as well. Verse 12, and it's right here. "Jesus entered the temple area and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of money changers and the benches of those selling doves." Okay. This is the second time that Jesus cleared the temple. Merchants and money changers set up their booths in the court of the Gentiles in the temple, crowding out the Gentiles who had come from all over the civilized world to worship God. selling sacrificed animals at a high price, taking advantage of those who had come from long distances. The money changers exchange all the international currency for the special temple coins. They often deceived foreigners who didn't know the exchange rates. All of this made Jesus very angry. But the difference, but the thing is this, the same thing is going on today in these churches. You are definitely being deceived. Go to Jesus today. Get him into your life today before it is too late. You better go to him today. You better get down on your knees. You better cry out to him today. Make him the Lord of your life today before it is too late. Before it is too late. Read and study the scriptures for yourself before it is too late. And a lot of people are too lazy to read and study the scriptures for themselves, which is very sad. And please do make Jesus the Lord of your life today before it is too late. I cannot stress that enough. Please make him the Lord of your life today before it is too late. I absolutely cannot stress that enough. Please go to him today. Please go to him today. And the next verse I'm going to be reading from is Romans chapter 1 and verse 18. And it says right here, the wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness. Okay. Jesus is angry at sinful people because they substitute his truth. They compromise his truth in order to support their evil, wicked lifestyles. Jesus cannot tolerate sin because his nature is perfect. His anger erupts against those who persist in sinning, who just go on sinning, and they know that they're sinning. They just don't care. They absolutely do not care. And make sure you are not pursuing a fantasy, but pursue the living, true God, which is Jesus Christ. Pursue him. Go after him. Make him the Lord of your life today before it is too late. Please do. Don't suppress the truth about him merely to protect your own evil lifestyle, because that is what a lot of people are doing, which is very sad. And I see it all the time, and I most definitely see it on television. These television preachers, they suppress the truth. They don't tell the real truth. They don't try to save souls from a burning hell, because with them it is all about the money. It is all about the money. It's not about saving souls. It's all about the money, which is very sad. because they are the ones who can reach a wider audience for Jesus. They are the ones who can reach a wider audience for Jesus and who can save more souls from a burning hell. But no, they rather suppress the truth. They rather suppress the truth. They rather compromise the truth for what? More money, which is very sad. And I see it all the time. And but these phony, watered down Christians, they would rather listen to them than to listen to the real truth from Scripture. And this is what I said in the video that I made the other day. Do not believe everybody who talks to you about Scripture, because everyone is not speaking the truth coming from Scripture. Then we all have to accept all of the sides of Jesus. And I know these phony, watered down Christians, they only want to accept just one side of Jesus. God is love. God is forgiving. And we all have to accept all of the sides of Jesus. We have to. If we call ourselves followers and disciples of Jesus, we have to accept all of the sides of him. We have to accept the fact that yes, he does. We have to accept the fact that Jesus does get angry. And he does. He is angry at these phony, watered down Christians who don't keep it real and who don't tell it like it is. They don't. They don't tell it like it is, and they don't tell the real truth coming from Scripture. And guess what? They're on their way to the lake of fire forever. Oh yes. But this is the video that I wanted to share with everyone this evening. And I hope and pray this video has blessed your life. And I love you all, and may Jesus bless you.